Three, two, one. We are live. Welcome to the Mixed Martial Angst podcast. Again, I am your host, Ben Cohn. Joining me today, we got Alejandro and Bilal. Say hi, guys.
You didn't wait till we gave you the answer for consent.
Yes, I actually did. It's just that you're very slow. And don't realize that you said yes.
That's how things go wrong, people.
Correct.
That is how things go wrong, people.
That is very true. First of all, we apologize for not bringing you an episode last week. There were some technical difficulties. Hopefully, we are done with those for good. Let me know how you like my new microphones. Should be going a lot more clear in this one. All right. Well, we had a weird as fuck fight card last week, didn't we?
Let's see.
I feel like that accurately describes the fight night.
Okay, so let's see. A 15-second no contest.
Due to an accident.
Before that one, what could be? Yes, before that one, we had like a fight where it could have been a draw.
Yep.
A majority decision that could have been a draw. And before that, we had an actual draw.
Split draw. Not even a draw. A split draw.
Yeah, I know. Like, I have some thoughts on this, and some funny anecdotes.
So it was a weird fucking card. We had let's jump into it.
I was really bummed.
Yeah, I can imagine. First of all, the way the crowd reacted to not just the main event, but also the co-main event. I don't know if either of you saw, but Carla Esparza had beer poured on her. So the crowd was just
that was shameful.
Awful. That is
shameful.
Disgusting.
It's pathetic.
It really is. And people are like you always see like multiple types of reactions. You'll see the reaction of like, this is the worst crowd ever. They're despicable. They should never go there again. And then you have the crowd where it's a little bit more reasonable. Like, that's fucked up. And maybe we shouldn't go to Mexico City or that arena for a little while. But that shouldn't.
Dude.
Yeah.
No, listen. Man, this fucking fight card, like, that ruined it for me because this is quite normal in the sense because, okay, like some context, like you saw a bunch of ugly shit, like from the Carla Esparza thing to people like getting in nonsensical brawls in the stands,
right?
To people throwing shit at Jeremy Stephens, and I would like to say, no, that's not what happens, but there's a reason why I don't go to these things. Like, there's boxing fights in here, and I don't go because I know that the alcohol never stops, right? Like, in the United States, you have this idea, as far as UFC cards, where when the main card starts, alcohol stops. Not so in Mexico. And, that isn't even, like, that isn't even the worst thing, because at some point, like, when Jeremy Stephens was being pelted, which is, like, fucking garish, and like shameful behavior, like people start screaming puto, which means faggot, and I knew that was going to happen.
Well, including Cain Velasquez and Brian Ortega. So shout out.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, like I don't think
Brian Ortega. Yeah, his last fight was stopped because of eye injury, and also hasn't fought since then for about a year. Yeah, that guy. But
some context. Yeah, some context for that. Some context for that, because like this isn't like something that just happened in the audience. Like, this is a chant. Like, you have Juve Morer from Brazil, and in Mexico they scream that at you. Like it's so prevalent. Like so prevalent. Like, not just in the language. Like but in sporting events, like. When, I don't know if you remember, like when just a few months ago, not that long, when the World Cup was on. Do you remember when the people were saying, "Oh, the Mexican fans, they're so fun," and blah. Like, there were reports and shit on it. Well, but a lot of people maybe didn't notice that the Mexican delegation was fined, because these people would go on national television and start screaming that, right? And it's prevalent. Like people have no idea. Like, people are surprised. Like, I'm not. Like,
right.
I knew that was going to happen the moment they started throwing.
Right. Okay, but so we've talked about the crowd. We talked about the main event. Let's talk about the co-main event, because that's actually something that you and I discussed, and I feel like you didn't really either. You didn't understand, or you're misunderstanding.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like there was a misunderstanding,
or I misunderstood something. Probably.
So let me just explain what I mean. So what happened was we had Carla Esparza defeat Alexa Grasso by a majority decision. There's an argument for a draw.
Quote unquote defeat.
Well,
yeah, a better argument than Grasso winning.
I don't agree with that necessarily, and apparently most of the MMA media doesn't either. But that's not obviously the be all end all. But to you saw Grasso win, but it seems like the majority of people agree with you there. I digress because that's not really the point I'm making. Whether Carla won or lost, what a part of our discussion was, to me, when I was watching that, I was very, very upset. Not because, well, let me rephrase that. I was very happy because Bloody Elbow Civil War, just so you guys are aware, the Bloody Elbow Civil War is a fantasy league that Bilal nearly got us eliminated from because he's a fucking asshole who doesn't listen to anybody. So we were lucky that we tied.
But for that one fight.
You mean that those 5 other fights you decided to choose otherwise and nearly fucked us on so badly and were the lowest scoring points again, and you're the lowest scorer on the team?
But
Shut up.
I think it's the best thing.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You contrarian twat.
I just think it's the best thing ever, and Bilal, you never change.
Bilal again.
Do you? No, follow your heart.
No, Alejandro just wants us to lose because his team was already eliminated by us.
Yeah, but this amuses me to no end. So keep going.
I believe in you, Bilal. But wouldn't that mean I still beat their team?
No, you didn't. You 34-point scoring bitch. No.
You scored like 6 higher than me.
What are you talking about? I was the leader. What the fuck are you talking about? Are that weak?
See, this is why I love this. I just want this to keep going.
Anyway, the most important thing is Esparza is the reason we're moving on to the finals now. So I am very happy about that. However, as an actual fan of the sport, I wanted to see specific things from Alexa Grasso. She has lost multiple decisions now because of not necessarily her skills, although granted, she was kind of fucking run over by Tatiana Suarez, but that's kind of Suarez's thing. Aside from that, she's had now 2 other losses where her decision-making in the fights is what cost her those decisions. And it nearly cost her against Randa Marcos as well, in a fight which Grasso missed weight. So, but again, my main point is that when she was against Carla Esparza, the first time she got taken down, you saw an urgency from her to get back to the feet. She made that round close because rather than fighting off of her back for the remainder of the round as she did whenever she was taken down after that, and she did fight off her back, and we saw she nearly submitted Carla in the 3rd round. But again, she, instead of showing an urgency to get the fight to the point where she had the best opportunity to implement her best skills, she acquiesced to what the fight her opponent wanted. Forget about the judges, forget about the scores, forget all that. She did not, in my opinion, and I think that other than that first attempt to get up, I think that's fair to say that she was, I don't know if she was happy about it, but she was willing / content to fight off her back, to throw strikes, to attempt submissions, to attempt sweeps, whatever she was doing. And regardless of the success of those things, she still was fighting in a area of the fight that her opponent had the best chance of winning. And we saw what happens when Carla was really unable to properly implement her wrestling. In that 3rd round is when we saw Alexa do the most damage on the feet too. But it's a problem to me that Grasso still hasn't learned this lesson. She's got 2 losses from it, a very close split win. And it's not like she doesn't have a fair amount of experience. She's got 14 fights already. She's got 4 Invicta fights. I think it's 7 UFC fights already. Granted, she is young. Of course, we know that. She's only 26. So there's still a lot of time left, I would say. But she has been fighting since 2012. So to me...
Yeah, I have something to say about that.
That's fine. So, but to me, my issue is simply that she did not seem to learn or grow in the ways that I think would actually bring her to the next level as a fighter and allow her to maximize her potential and skills, which is that urgency that this is not my best chance of winning, so I'm going to work to get to my best chance of winning. The final thought is, think about the Faraz Zahabi 1 minute guard. You're on your back for a minute. You can't submit them. You can't sweep them. Get the fuck up. That's what I'm saying. And I want to see that from her. I want to see like she gets taken down and consistently works to get back up. So that's my problem. Go ahead, Alejandro.
I agree, like 100% agree. What I don't necessarily agree is because we are assuming some things, like when you're speaking about chances, when you are speaking about the odds, like of what gets you easier. Like I agree completely when you said that she conceded aspects of the fight, right? Mm-hmm. Like she did.
It's kind of like when Dustin conceded the mid-range to Khabib, and that's what cost him.
Yes, actually, I'm gonna use him as an example in a moment.
Who?
Yeah, so I Dustin Poirier.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and Justin Gaethje too.
Okay.
Like I consider that, but the thing that I see, like I'm not necessarily coming as hard because I know already for her. And the things that I was interested in seeing, that the growth was there, because if Carla Esparza got 4 takedowns, she got up 4 times, and if she attempted 11 takedowns, Grasso stuffed 7. For somebody that doesn't come from that environment, like that's kind of a big deal. Second, I agree with what you said before, but
just
again,
want to interject one thing. Yeah. Carla is not a high percentage takedown artist. She's a
she's not.
She works off of like tenacity and keeps going.
I agree.
But she has a takedown accuracy of 33%.
Yes,
which is about.
Let me finish. I agree. But there's nobody else there. Tatiana Suarez, Carla Esparza, and then there is Claudia Gadelia. There's no one else there. So you have to grade based on comparison.
Jessica
Andrade is a danger to Grasso if she is not going to struggle.
Yes, no, I agree. I'm not saying no.
Also, we've seen.
Let me finish.
I want to just add somebody to that list. She got out wrestled by Felice Herrig.
Okay. That was a while ago. That's not happening again. I don't think.
Why?
No.
It was 2 years ago. She got out wrestled by Randa Marcus.
Yeah, and things have changed.
She got wrestled by Randa Marcus.
Yeah, and she got back up every time.
But she got back up after nearly losing the fight.
Yes,
that's my problem.
Yes, but let me look. Yes, I agree. But let me finish what I want to say, and then we can disagree. We'll leave it up to the audience. Like you have these things happening, right? But these are not blowout losses. Is my point. Like. You are going to have these problems with fighters that do not evolve at the speed that you want them to evolve. But again, like I'm going to use Dustin Poirier. Do you remember what Dustin Poirier was when he was 25, 26 years old? He had just lost to Conor McGregor. He had just lost, to Cub Swanson. He had just lost to Chanson Young, and he had just lost to Danny Castillo. Each and every important fight he had taken at that point, he lost all of them. He was 25 going 26 years old. Dustin Gaethje learned the things that he has learned and made the adjustments that he needed to make at 30 years old, right? Like, there's plenty of time. Like, I agree with everything you're saying, and there's this concession that is made, but what you're getting out of her are fight-winning performances. She's not going to be the best, and I'm not saying she passed this test with flying colors, but if you do what she did, when you allegedly win the fight, I would say she won the fight based on damage, the things that counts. Like this is still prize fighting. And any other night, any other judge, that's fair. Any other set of judges give that fight to her. And so the argument, what does the argument become?
But you can't. First of all, you can't say.
I can because I've seen it.
Right, but most.
Yeah, I can because we.
Wait. I let you finish. Now let me finish. You can't say I let you finish.
Yes.
Most people scored it for Esparza. So saying, the majority actually did score it for Esparza. The rest of the minority scored it for Carla. Scored it a draw. Very few people scored it for Grasso. So you're saying that you'd have to find a minority of judges to score it for Grasso. That's number one. If we're talking about themselves, people disagree with you.
But the rules, I know. Look,
first of all, were they operating?
I think that
were they operating under the rules?
Yes.
Mexico's commission.
That's the thing. Like that's what. No, you're mistaken because the Mexico Commission had no say in this. They even put out a communique where they say they didn't use us. They literally brought judges from elsewhere.
Who judged?
I don't know. I had the names, but they were not from here.
They're not.
That is what I can say. And they were
non-Mexican. But again,
no. They're U.S. judges. They were using the. Let me. Okay. You go.
Are you positive? I want to make sure. I don't want to say yes or no. And regardless, even if you
yes, I am positive they were U.S. judges. I am positive that they were U.S. judges. They were not from here.
So the other thing is, I don't agree that Grasso did more damage in round one than Esparza necessarily.
No, you see the effect of the punches. No, you see the effect of the punches.
Not in round one.
Yes, they're wrong. If someone is fucking up if they're getting hit, getting hit, that's where we have the disagreement because I see more damage. But I can see it. No, look.
But again, all right, we'll move on.
No, it's not. No, but I can see that. But what I'm saying is, it is a better argument to say that there was a tie in the last round because if that's not a 10-8 round where you pretty much break the other person's arm and you concuss the other person.
Oh yeah,
and you control most of the fight.
It should have been a draw just because I would award that a 10-8.
Yes. Like the performances are not that far off. Like I'm judging based relative to competition. Like if you're making an argument, well, you're going to the judges, that's a problem. Like I don't disagree with that. But what I saw was clear growth in the things that she needed to grow. Like at the end of the day, like if you're getting paid, if you're not getting Polo Reyes, I'm okay with it. Like she's not at the space. Like look at Justin Gaethje. Before he actually put these things together so that he can have a style that would last him longer, he took like I don't know how many, like about 500 punches to the head or something before his string of losses. Yeah, so like this is still prize fighting. Like whether you fall where you fall on the rankings or not is not really that important. But how
it is. There's a direct link between rankings and the money you make.
Yeah, yes, but wait, like what I'm saying is in terms of who puts the rankings together. Like look, that's a whole other problem. I'm saying that it's not important as far as my evaluation is concerned.
Right, but like, the problem that I have is that Grasso doesn't also seem to be willing to do what Dustin Poirier did, or Justin Gaethje stayed with Whitman, but Whitman was kind of like a slow burn. Alexa Grasso, like Dustin Poirier left his hometown and his home camp and went to train at the best camp.
I agree,
MMA,
but there's a different consideration.
It took a big change to see what we saw from Dustin, and the difference between Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier is that Justin Gaethje's mindset is kind of the same in terms of his application of his style. It's just that he's added more tools over time. Hold on. Dustin Poirier needed a significant change in dealing with the mental aspect of the game. That's what we needed. But that took a massive change. I agree, but you're looking at it. Yeah, yes, she should, like, if effectively speaking, because that's what works. Things like you're dealing with people and puts it together 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Some people are just going to follow the path that they're going to follow, and you have to kind of respect that. And we don't have to assume like, oh, this person is busted, he's never going to get better, or this is where he's going to stay. And then like, nah, like you have to give some room for improvement. Like, and if it can get you here and you can have this kind of performances where you're competitive and you're not getting blown out of the water and you're not getting concussed, you're going to be okay. So long as that is not happening to you, because we saw what happens to you when you don't improve the way you should improve. We saw it unfortunately with Polo Reyes. Like that's the thing. Like that is like the thing that you have to avoid, right? Because in Polo Reyes, you have the situation with the fighter that very much depended on whether he could take a shot or not in order to give his own, right? And that was kind of his style for a long, long time. And it didn't work. Like it comes a point where your ability and your skills are not there. But if Grasso doesn't have that problem yet, right? So if she doesn't have the problem yet, and she doesn't want to change camps, maybe you can argue that she should, and I wouldn't disagree. Like she should go out there and see what's out there. But if she doesn't want to, then you back off and you let these people deal with whatever it is that they want to deal with. Like
Maybe she's just like a Nate Diaz or a Nick Diaz, and she's a fun fighter.
Well, there's also the problem is that she fights at not the problem. She's not going to run into people who are going to be able to do what Kyle Nelson did for the most part,
Well, we don't know, but the problem I would say that considering her division.
Hold on. You think she's going to be able? You think there are going to be people who are going to get like there are multiple women's strawweights that can get standing stoppages because of how hard they hit? Like there's Jessica Andrade, Weili Zhang, and who else?
No, I know. No. See,
you have more time.
No, I agree. But the problem there is that she may not get deaded. But if you watch at the statistics, and I'm just going off the Fight Matrix database, considering like strawweight division goes to decision by at 50%, at 51-52%, as according to the last time they updated it, right? And if you take that into account, like if you're letting the fights go to the judges, you're going to have a problem.
Especially if you have to admit that she's not going to have the urgency to get the fight to the points where she's best.
Yeah, but again, like
jump in?
Yes.
Can I just jump in? Like Alejandro, like I kind of get what you're saying, but your arguments feel kind of besides the point for why this is really a bad thing for Grasso. Doesn't feel like it explains it well.
What'd you say, Bilal?
How so?
No, I'm just saying it doesn't seem like it explains it well enough there, because you're talking about topics that are sort of in general tangential to her, but not really her specifically. Because
my problem is that
hold on, let him finish.
That she still does kind of consent to whatever fight she's given. Like,
I don't disagree with that. What I am trying to say is that the issue that should really bother you, like, can she grow? Probably not. Like, we don't know, right? But the thing that the real takeaway is that if she's not getting fight-ending damage, like we have that problem also.
Takeaway, because she could still lose fights even if she doesn't take fight-ending damage. The bottom line is this: we want to see her grow and develop her talents in the best way and the most successful.
But you're saddled with what you're saddled with.
Like that's not true, because one thing you brought up Dustin Poirier as an example. The problem with your example that it makes it less of a one-to-one comparison is that Dustin Poirier was never content to fight the fight that his opponent dictated. He was. No, he was not, because whenever he was uncomfortable, he would try to change the range that was happening. When Max Holloway started to give him a little bit of a fight back, he took Max down and beat the shit out of him on the ground. When Korean Zombie beating him on the feet, he tried to take Korean Zombie down, and that's when he was running into issues.
But you had this guy that had no patience.
But Alexa Grasso is the opposite. All she has is patience.
Yeah, and that's a problem that she needs to face. But my point is that at this point in time in their careers, like that's when you stumble this problem that you have to fix. Like Dustin Poirier had to fix his problem with having no patience. If you touched him and you touched him hard, he had to get it back.
Right.
And that was a problem because he would fall into somebody else's rhythm.
But we've seen fighters like that turn it around. It's very, very, very rare. I can't really think of any examples off the top of my head where we saw somebody who was way too content to just fight the fight that they were given and turn that into showing real urgency in their fights. Like, who can you name off the top of your head? Jorge Masvidal.
It took him years.
It took him literally like 15 years to get over.
But maybe that's what we got with her. Like, it's not a bad thing.
That's why I'm disappointed. Is that let's say we get her to be a you're totally fine with her taking 15 years to reach her best self.
I'm gonna put it this way: how many Mexican fighters can you name off the top of your head? That train in Mexico.
I mean, that train in Mexico. I don't know.
In Mexico,
I don't know how many trains.
And that have got. Okay, see, that's my point. Like, you're not gonna get what you want right now.
But
like,
again,
the culture doesn't exist.
But she's not dumb. She knows she can go to the U.S. to train. How many fighters have done that? That's just not an excuse, man. Like that's just like an
explanation. No. It's not. But no. I'm sorry, but no. Let me stop you right there, because. You're not dealing with the same kind of people. Like in the United States, people move around a lot. Like not here. Like it's not a thing. It's a literal cultural barrier there. Like a lot of people move when they are close to the border. Like for example, the people at Alliance. right?
Where does Yair train?
What?
Where does Yair train?
No. Jair moved away, but he went to a place filled with Mexicans.
Okay.
He went with Mark Valle.
Okay.
And then he left Mark Valle, and then he went somewhere else. Like, Jair doesn't have a set destination where he trains. Like, that's not true. Like, we assumed he was going to be with Dulan Cerrone. He's not. Like, all of the Mexicans that went to the United States went to a place that had some kind of Mexican there. Like, for example, Mowgli Benitez. Where did he go? He went to AK. Who is there?
Okay, so why?
Cain's trainer.
Why doesn't she go to
Javier Mendez?
Whoa!
I don't know.
They're not a bad route, because if there is one thing they teach, it's urgency. Like they could.
Yes, I know, but my point is that with Grasso, you're not like you have to deal with what you have to deal with. Like they train again. Like I think I made that argument elsewhere, right?
You're basically
like
saying,
it's literally a family business. No, but my point is that either you wait and see what happens, or chances are that you're never gonna get what you want.
Why can't
you already have to know this?
Hold on. Why can't I say?
What?
Why can't I say that? In my opinion, that
no, you can.
Failed the Esparza.
No, you can. Like you can.
The way I want to see.
No. But you can say that. What I'm saying is that I am not evaluating it that way. I respect your opinion. It's fine.
Okay. No, I understand. It's just that you're basically saying like, well, that's just the way it is, essentially.
But it's different, man. Like it's different. Like I don't know how to explain it to you. Like the insularity. Like you're not dealing with that. Like,
but if you're choosing to be a prize fighter with very limited time to make your money, and like, listen, don't get me wrong. I understand that MMA fighters are not rational actors in most cases.
They're not. Like we cannot assume that they are. Like,
all right, but I think we've kind of tapped the well dry on this fight.
Yeah, like I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Like I have no problem because I know that in order for MMA to grow, you need people like Grasso that stay here.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing. Like you kind of need those people, because if you don't have those people and all your talent is going elsewhere, you're not going to grow the way you need to grow. That's a reality. Like that's a whole other like layer of complication that you have to consider there. But again, like I think it's fair. What you're saying is fair. The concerns are fair, and it's up to her now. That's right. It.
All right, so let's move on from this fight. Moreno Askarov had a split draw that probably should have gone Moreno's way.
If you value damage, but that's not what we saw.
Well, I mean, on volume, he also won. So, like,
no, but these people are counting takedowns. They're not counting damage, and I mean, it's unfortunate. But what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean,
it was a very good fight. It's
not just that. Askarov did land, a fair amount of strikes himself. Not in round.
Yes, and slams, which look cool.
Correct. I do think that 2 and 3 are definitely Moreno. So I mean, I don't.
I thought it was Moreno's too. Like,
and it was a good fight. Again, he came back from LFA, won the title. Askarov showed that he's a legit guy. Both of them are legit, and it's good to see that they're actually getting flyweights back. So that's nice. It looks like the division actually was saved by Henry Cejudo, for fuck's sake.
And he saved the rec center, man. Like Bilal says.
Oh my god.
He saved the rec center.
Holy shit. He's that like rich white kid who fucking has it he's like the poor white kid who's like, I'm gonna save it from the rich white asshole whose father wants to make like condos and shit.
Well, he did it.
It's so
good. You know that was TJ.
It was not.
And by the way, isn't TJ actually the rich white kid? Like he grew up rich?
Yeah, I don't know if he grew up rich. I don't know about that, but I can't.
I think
the funniest part is that he like. It's also like they always like the rich white kid also always cheats. So like, literally the guy.
Like this movie wrote itself because even like he was saying villainous things.
This is amazing.
He was even saying villainous things, and he was walking with shades and like a code and shit, and he was like, I'm gonna destroy you.
And then the best part is that Henry went up to it's like Henry went to his town and then just beat the fuck out of the other guy. Just fucking wrecked his ass.
Okay, you know what? Like that's fake. Like if you watch that in a movie, you're gonna say that's fake. Like that can't happen.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know they have to make a movie about Henry Cejudo's life now, right?
Yes, Lifetime movie preferably. Yes, a Lifetime movie preferably.
Who has a big enough head to play Henry Cejudo.
That's what computers, man. Computers.
You know, he'll star in his own movie.
Oh yes, and he will play himself as a teenager, which will be amazing.
Oh my God, he'd play himself as a 14-year-old boy. Shaves his head, he shaves his beard.
Yes, like I've always looked.
Mean mugs at the camera. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
2 lollipops or some shit. I don't know. All right, Irene Aldana fought Vanessa Melo, and
I was worried for this fight. It was a good performance.
I don't agree. I don't think Vanessa Melo landed.
No, it was a good performance. Offensive. Yeah, but she has no power.
Well,
she has no power though.
You tell me that, but that's the problem, is that Irene Aldana showed zero head movement until 30 seconds left in the fight.
No, that's a problem. Yeah, that is a problem. But again, you're dealing with someone that is at the very end of an exhausting schedule, 26 week of straight training with 2 weeks for rest.
Fair, but also
No, I agree. I didn't like it because I saw a bunch of problems with her footwork and her head movement.
That's what I'm saying. It was problematic
she looks
in a lot of ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, but she got a softball because Vanessa Melo, I don't want to be dismissive of her because she took the fight and she fought at altitude, a bunch of things. She didn't make weight, but she had 10 days notice. She got on a plane and cut weight. That's what she did. No training, no nothing. But her last win is Gianfini. And I don't want to be dismissive towards Gianfini, but she's not at the level that UFC fighters are. Even if we have
Melo's not going to last in the UFC, in my opinion.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But it was worrying for me because if Marion Renault gets that chance, she's gonna find ways to whack her. You watch her feet in this fight, and I mean
Renault would have.
I don't mean to be Yeah,
No, it would have been.
Yeah, no, Betch Correa would have probably won this fight.
Betch Correa would have actually not a bad fighter. I'm sorry.
No, Betch Correa is a good fight. No, I like her too. I was so happy that she beat Jacare Souza in this card. I was ecstatic. And then she did her little dance and everything, and she adjusted. Betch is a smart fighter, but
No, she didn't just adjust. She knew she would have to ride out the storm, and she fought like she did. She knew she had, Jacare Eubanks has a 1-round gas tank, and we saw that again, even
at 130.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it kind of just shows just how weak the division is, also.
Yeah, but again, that's fair, that, but you have to compare people relative to who they are competing. If you don't consider Amanda Nunes or Germaine de Randamie, who is a legitimate good fighter?
Ketlen Vieira?
Ketlen Vieira isn't even competing. She's better now, and she says she wants to compete in December. No. She just says she wants to come back in December. So credit to her. It's not like I'm being dismissive, but we haven't seen her in a long time. She's good at jiu-jitsu, okay? What else can she do?
It's fair.
So that's the point. But now I'm going to argue against me. If you have to grade these people relative to their level of competition, and then you're going to have your outliers.
Okay.
No, but what are you comparing her?
Well,
I'll 25?
Hold on, I'll explain my point. And I saw this on Twitter, and it was a really, really good point. I think one of the guys from the FightSide.com. By the way, shout out to the FightSide.com. Go check out their stuff. They just did a top 20 list of all-time GOATs, and it's really well done. All of their stuff is. So the way they explained it is they were comparing lightweights to heavyweights in the sense of skill specifically, and they're pointing out how lightweights and welterweights and featherweights are obviously more skilled than heavyweights and light heavyweights. And someone was like, well, at heavyweight you have knockout power, and they were talking about defense specifically. So the person, I don't remember which one it was, responded with so the fact that they have the ability to knock each other out with one shot more than any other division means they should not learn how to do proper defense? That's what you're saying? That makes sense to you? So my point that I'm going to be bringing here is that the talent level in the division, it's not like the athletic level is bad, but the talent level is high. You know what I mean? It's not like that at all. It's they're kind of relatively on par with each other from my perspective. You know, my issue is that you don't have to be super athletic to pick up really good skills.
I agree. Betch Correa is a good argument for that.
Correa is a good example. She's probably among the most skilled fighters in that
division. She is.
Her insanely unathletic body is what's holding her back. Don't get me wrong.
And I'm athletic, but she's not on the level where she can compete with the better athletes.
Correct. There's still an athletic threshold that we're talking about here.
But you know what she has that nobody else has? That nobody else has mastered? She has no shame whatsoever. She gives no fucks. And that's probably why she's so good.
Probably. But Mike, so what I'm trying to say is that...
I mean, like, it's kind of inspirational to see
it is.
Be able to dunk like that.
But let me...
If bitch can do that, you can do anything then.
That's true. So
that is true.
So what I'm trying to say is that I don't agree with the thought of you have to compare them relative to their opposition.
You don't have to.
Right, but what I'm saying is that the idea behind it, I disagree. I always try to compare fighters to, like, we'll always say, yeah, it's heavyweight. Well, now my point is this. Imagine a heavyweight who understood how to pivot. Imagine a heavyweight who understood basic parrying and head movement and blocking. And, you know, like, it's not like we haven't seen that in heavyweight, you know, strikers.
I was going to say, we saw that in Stipe Miocic, which is probably the best thing about Stipe Miocic. They can do really basic things that other divisions have plenty of.
Correct.
But it's heavyweight.
And he's not the most athletic fighter in the division. Don't get me wrong. He's not a bad athlete at all. Relatively to pure strength, decent. But he's not. Junior Dos Santos is probably still a better athlete. You know what I mean? Francis Ngannou is a better athlete. Like there are better athletes than Stipe Miocic in that division. But he, like you said, he does some really basic stuff very well. And he still has tons of flaws. But
yes, I agree. So I'm sorry. No, I agree, and I think it's fine. I think that there are places for how we're going to do evaluations, right? Like I agree, like everything you said, I agree completely. But I think that there's a space, right, when you're making comparison between people, and which is like the actuality, what you're doing, and then there is the ideal. You're the idea of what you want, and that's what keeps people striving to get better and all that jazz. But you at the same time, like reality is kind of an asshole, and you have what you have. And so what you have to do is that you acknowledge the reality, and then you find some way to change it. But the changing is very, very slow. And again, like these are still the people in the division. Like even at heavyweight, these are the people we have. If you go to heavyweight boxing, those are the people you have, and those are the people you compare. Like again, as far as matches and all the stuff, if you want to say, well, relative to the ideal and what we have seen in the past, like with boxing, you can make a bunch of those comparisons. In MMA, not so much, because it's so young that you don't have it. Like, who else was like a genuine, legitimate, top-of-the-line fighter at women's bantamweight? You have Ronda Rousey, you have Amanda Nunes, who else? Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey, so maybe there. Misha Tate.
Again, well, no, dude, the bottom line is...
I mean,
Holm is
4 people.
Yeah, it's Cyborg, who's not 130.
I know, relative. Yeah, yes, relative, like all of these things. But again, like, you have 2 people then. You have Ronda Rousey and you have Amanda Nunes, and those are like the ones you have. Like, again, in the eye, what is a genuine top-of-the-line fighter? And even Ronda Rousey, we know how her hands looked when she got tested there. So you have one person, one. And that's what you see. So again, like I see what you say, but reality is still there. So you work with what you have. That's my. Bilal, you have anything to add?
No, I just really like Betch Correa for that simple reason. It's like
no, I love her. Like she was kind of a dick.
She was more athletic.
Yes, but Look, but that's kind of the thing with Betch. I sometimes, and this, you guys correct me, okay? But I think that if Betch wasn't saddled with the deficits that she had, she would have never felt the need to compensate for them. That's the read that I have, because, for example, when she fought Aldana, she just was like, yeah, wait, I won't make, I'm not gonna make weight. Like, that was her in. Like, if you're gonna take every potential advantage that you can have, that's an advantage. She was like, fuck it, I'm just not gonna make weight.
No, but she's quite good.
And she makes weight for
she was one of the few.
She is quite good.
Using movement against Rousey. Or is that like her feet
Yes,
were physically not fast enough to escape Rousey's feet?
Yeah, but the problem here is that if there you have a person that takes that kind of shortcut, maybe if she was a super athlete, like she would be saddled with a host of other problems. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, chances are I'm wrong.
All right, we're gonna have to move on from this discussion. The last thing I want to mention is Steven Peterson was getting kind of beat up a little bit, and Martin Bravo got a little his style. He wasn't showing a lot of defense in his onslaught.
Yes,
he was doing really well offensively, but Peterson was able to get his shots in, and it ended up costing him. There's really not much else to say. He did a spinning. It was a spinning back fist that was countered by a spinning back fist, and it was beautiful.
I was like Beyblades going at it.
It was amazing. Props to Steven Peterson for that fucking incredible knockout.
Beyblade. That's a reference.
It's a great call.
No, that fight made me sad because the guy's like, like Mex dude. What's his name? I forget his name. They call him Toro. Anyways, like, I apologize. I don't have his name on my head right now, but he's just 26 years old. Like, he got knocked out really bad. Like, this is not like sound the alarms, but kind of is. Like, it's not retired, but you need to look at what you're doing here, because the first time he got knocked out was in Mexico City, also in Mexico City. And people said that it looked for a moment like he had stopped breathing. And they got a huge fucking scare, right? So this is his second one.
Damn.
So he should just not fight in Mexico.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure that is that's the moral of this story, Bilal. Exactly that. No, but it's kind of like where you have to sort of take a step back and sort of reassess. Like, we go about Grasso having issues, and I agree, right? But there's like issues, and then there's like these kind of issues, right? Because this is the kind of the situation where you have to wonder whether this is even for you. I'm not saying like sound the alarms, you have to quit, blah blah blah, but something has to be addressed here.
Well, you try moving up. That seems to help with some fighters like Poirier.
Yeah, maybe. But if you're getting slapped at this weight and you're not necessarily the biggest guy in your division,
he can still add on muscle.
Yeah, I mean maybe. Like, it's not that
now he's a big lightweight.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's a bummer because he has a bunch of potential, but again, like, the damage you're accruing is not good for you.
All right, let's move on from this card. We're going to move on. We're going to move on from this card. We're going to move on from this card to talk we're going to talk about some of the fights on the next card. Jack Hermansson versus Jarod Cannonier are headlining the next ESPN Plus card. I think this is number 18, and they are going to be fighting in Copenhagen, Denmark. Hermansson's kind of
confuses the shit out of me. This.
I mean, it just comes down to whether Cannonier.
Go.
This comes down to whether Cannonier can stop the takedown, like, genuinely. Because he is another one who has been all too content to fight off his back in the past, and it has. And I don't know if it cost him. It did cost him. It cost him against Glover. Jan, I don't remember if Jan took him down much, honestly. But he's a very powerful striker. He uses more head movement than is probably necessary, I would say, and could probably use some blocks and parries and slips. in his arsenal more than just the head. Well, slips, I'm assuming. Well, I'm going to throw slips in with the head movement, but he moves his trunk a lot. He will parry shots, but he's averse to just like blocking,
moving his feet.
Yeah, he doesn't really. Yeah, he's more of a stationary defense kind of guy, and it's gotten him taken down before. He's not really one to use movement. Go ahead.
Isn't Hermansson coming off from? Isn't he coming off from beating Jacare?
Yes, this is and Jarod Cannonier is coming off the leg kick injury to
yeah.
Silva.
Hermansson has a good shot here.
What?
Hermansson has a good shot, and he has good. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember this fight, his fight with Jacare, he also has great cardio. He doesn't fade.
Oh no, cardio is not a problem. Cannonier also seems to have a decent.
No, I know. So
the problem is that Cannonier has fucking garbage takedown defense. And I mean it's 44%. Like that garbage.
Yeah, not right.
And here's the problem. Hermansson's a really fucking good submission grappler. He's very good at it, and his ground and pound.
Yes, he hung with Jacare. What more do you want?
Ground and pound is fucking terrifying.
He is quite good.
That's a genuinely good skill.
Outside of Rockhold and maybe Anderson Silva, it's probably the best recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there. It's definitely up there. Again, it's just here's the thing. This fight will come down to because Cannonier is very fast. He's very powerful. He's not very good at forcing a fight he wants. He's kind of like Grasso in that sense that he's kind of content to fight where you let him. Right? So if Hermansson comes out trying to force him backwards.
How old is Cannonier?
Cannonier is not young. He is.
Yeah, he started at heavyweight, moved down to light heavyweight.
Yeah.
He's at middleweight.
And he's had 2 good fights straight. He's had the Branch and Silva TKOs, but Branch is very clearly falling off. And Hermansson also just beat Branch. He's submitted.
Oh, he's 35.
Yeah. Well,
yes, he's 35.
I don't think Hermansson's that young.
At that age, it's a.
Oh wait, Hermansson's only 31. I was wrong. He just looks like he's 100.
I was about to say that.
He's too old.
But I mean, as we know from Peter Yan, the older you look, despite your age, the better you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that the problem
Peter Yan, the immortal man.
Here's the problem. Hermansson is not a great defensive fighter, and he throws a lot of volume, which will open up Cannonier to counter him. And Cannonier loves to throw hard counters off of his he'll throw a lot of not same time counters, I would say, but half beat counters where he'll let you throw and then immediately upon the.
So basically, whenever you hear commenters say slip and rip,
I would say I don't know if he's strictly a slip and rip, but
no, but they use it for everything. That's my point.
Oh yeah. And it works for the most part. When he gets.
Oh, he's basically a pocket counter puncher, but without really the long combinations.
Right.
Waits for you to step into the pocket, throw, then he'll counter there.
The problem is that he has a hard time. He has a hard time doing it against guys who have a decent outfighting game, and Hermansson kind of displayed a solid outfighting game when Jacare was trying to pressure him. Granted, Jacare did his best work pressuring him, but Hermansson landed some really good shots.
We'll get to Hermansson. I think the biggest problem with Cannonier is that he's content to wait for that pocket distance before he strikes,
right?
And B, because he's looking for the counter even when he's trying to keep the initiative, he's usually waiting for you to actually be in the pocket, so you won't pressure that well. like slowly push forward, but not really cut the
Yeah,
edge.
he doesn't have good pressure footwork. He doesn't have that. He's kind of more than happy to follow you around, even in his.
That's what I mean. You want to step into the pocket, but if you don't, then it feels lackluster because he's not aggressively cutting you off.
Correct, and it also should be noted that he's not. While he hits really hard, he's not a one-hitter quitter guy. Like, he's had multiple fights go to decisions, multiple wins go to decisions, and like I said, he's a guard player off his back. So that's not a good sign.
Well, this is middleweight, so
right. But he did try to get up against David Branch, so that's a good sign. But I don't know. Hermansson is shockingly good on top.
I will say, Hermansson isn't really the best takedown artist.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And also, he's not the hardest puncher. And it kind of feels like...
Okay, this fight is getting really confusing.
Middleweight, especially, to be an actual elite talent, you either need to be a really hard puncher or someone with really good takedowns. Well, usually both even. Because you think of like...
Okay,
Cannonier the
correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm sorry for interrupting you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems that this fight, like, both people have some very glaring and obvious things that they need to in order to win, but the other guy is not that good at exploiting them. Is that the read that I'm getting?
Sort of. I mean, I put Manson.
That's wild.
Cannonier, just because like Manson might not be the best, but he's still really good and pushes a pace. And I'm not sure if Cannonier can stop him once he does actually get into the ground. Because like Manson's a really fucking good guard passer.
But if he doesn't have good takedowns and the other guy doesn't have good defense, like good takedown defense, like we're flipping coins.
No, but like Manson pushes a high enough pace that it should make up for that. I mean, you don't have to succeed.
Yeah, but if you have a high enough, yes. But if you have a high enough pace and
you fail every takedown that you don't take, that's his philosophy.
Yes. Yes, but the point is that if he has a very high pace and he shoots a bunch of takedown attempts and he's not that good, like chances are he could tire himself.
Yeah, but
because if it's that glaring, right?
I think Cannonier can maybe stop 2 out of every 3 takedowns, but like if Manson gets it done one time.
Statistically, he could stop a little bit 1 out of every 3.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying at best, I think he could stop that many, but he's still going to get taken down, and I don't expect him to get up. Like,
well,
like, can you imagine trying to play guard against a Manson? That sounds like a genuinely bad idea.
No, I don't want to imagine that.
I'd have a better feeling staying under Jacare, just because Jacare is gonna like submit you and give you the chance to tap out rather than smash your face in with elbows first and then try to submit you, which Manson seemed to like a lot more recently. But that just could be because he was facing like Jacare and Branch.
Yeah.
All right. Not much time left. Let's do a very brief breakdown of Gilbert Burns versus Gunnar Nelson, because I actually like that fight, and I think that Gilbert Burns is going to beat Gunnar Nelson, and it's going to be really fucking funny. It'll be like Gunnar Nelson defends punches with his face, and they're both amazing grapplers, and Gilbert Burns is more than content to fight on the feet at times. So we might either get a fucking fist fight that will be very fun with knockdowns apiece, I would say, or we're going to get...
When has that happened with Gunnar Nelson, though?
Gunnar Nelson? Fighting on the feet?
Yeah, like... No. Like, no. I know, but how do those fights look? Either he tramples them or he gets trampled. Like, I don't remember. Yeah, like I don't remember like a moment when he had like a drag out fight with anyone. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember.
His style doesn't lend itself for those kind of fights.
His style.
Yeah, that's my point.
He had it with Alex Oliveira. Pretty sure he got fucked up and then came back and won.
No, not that. I mean, he means a prolonged back and forth fight.
Well, I'm pretty sure almost every single one. I'm pretty sure almost every single one of his fights that he's won has been finish.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, it's more likely that one finishes the other, right?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I think one is going to finish the other. I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked if both knock each other down.
Oh well, that's an interesting call.
Because Gilbert's chin is not, bulletproof.
Neither is Gunner's. So.
Well, no, Gunner's Gilbert has a really good chin, but he can be hurt, and he doesn't have the greatest striking defense.
Yeah, Gunner's chin is like dry beef jerky.
Buy Ben's beef. Meat.
We're gonna have to end the show there. Thank you all. Also, Gilbert Burns will probably knock out Gunnar Nelson. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Oh, you never know.
Welterweights
always seem kind of shocked.
By the way, Lando Banata.
What?
Okay, Lando Banata is fighting Bartia Kese. I want to watch that fight. That fight actually interests me.
Might not want to watch it because remember that Bartia Kese is actually a better wrestler than he is striker.
Well, actually, after his fight with Duffy, I'm actually not so sure about that anymore.
But Izzyat is better than he is a striker. I mean, he's a powerful striker, but
no, he actually showed off some good. No, he showed off some good skills against Duffy.
I'll have to rewatch it then.
I would definitely rewatch it. It's worth a watch. He looked really good in that fight. Honestly,
yeah, I'm mostly thinking of his other fights right now, because I mean he was always powerful and fast and could.
Dude, he outstruck Joe Duffy 63-15 in significant strikes and knocked him down and outstruck him 80. Ooh, granted, he also got 3 takedowns on him, but he only landed 2 strikes on the ground. They were more like to break the rhythm. So. Yeah, and he was really accurate. He scored almost 50. He was 59% accurate. Anyway, we're moving.
What happened to Duffy anyway? I remember him up stuck in 40 on the field.
Okay, shut the fuck up, Bilal. When somebody says they have to go, don't be a dick. You dick. Muted him. Jesus Christ, fail Al. Stop it. Thank you all so much for joining us. As always,
thank you.
Host, Ben Cohn. Alejandro, like, share, subscribe. We have Bilal. He's muted because he's a jackass. Bye.